Now on Denver 7 News at 6 a.m., the Lodo police shooting that prompted community outrage goes to court today. I sit down with Denver's DA about her process investigating police shootings.
The judgment that an officer has to make in a split second, which could be the difference between life and death.
And what she said about body cameras in these kinds of investigations.
Plus, a judge blocks new local gun laws from going into effect. Why activists say this victory is just the beginning.
Dramatic new video. The Oak Fire surges in size and becomes California's biggest of the season. Firefighters are rushing to get some containment near Yosemite.
And from the football field to fashion.
Are you ready for him to go back to work?
You know what? I'm excited. It's always bittersweet because this is when he gets like in it, wrapped up in the zone and lost in it, but I support that. I'm excited for him.
Russell Wilson is taking a quick break before the start of training camp for the opening of a new clothing store in the Metro with wife Ciara.
As Russ would say, I'm ready to ride. Let's ride.
I love that they're like each other's biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
We've seen them everywhere. Red carpet, White House.
And now here in Denver, hopefully for a while, right?
Yeah, he's going to hear the roar of the crowd tomorrow when he takes the field for training camp. Good Tuesday morning to you. I'm Brian Sanders.
And I'm Nicole Brady. Lisa, good shopping weather, I think, if you want to hit their new store. Yeah.
Shopping and ice cream weather. I say yes to them year round. Yeah. You're right, though. We do have some pretty mild conditions this morning. Low to mid 80s here by noon. Pretty good pool weather through midday. It's going to be a touch cooler here this week, even more so come Thursday, Friday. But you will see some scattered thunderstorms pop up. Upper 80s by about 4 o'clock today. Our risk of severe weather, though, is going to be pretty low for us here in town. Expecting some of those storms to hit across parts of northeastern Colorado, but a pretty shot here through Winter Park, where we do have a little bit of cloud cover early this morning. 87 for a high in Denver. You will find still some 90s across parts of southern and southeastern Colorado. More 70s for the foothills. So actually really nice and a few degrees below normal today. Take a look at our futurecast by this afternoon. It looks like we'll start to see some of those storms developing first in the mountains by midday today, and then a chance here across town. It does look to be pretty cool, Jason. Highs in the 70s later this week. We'll talk about that coming up.
Well, right now we do have we had a report of some early morning closures of Broadway there between 62nd and 58th, right by the railroad track. This is actually on the southbound side. That driver is not moving because the train is rolling through there. You see some damage from an earlier sinkhole that came from a water main break through there, but traffic is moving southbound and north. It will when the train's gone. Take a look now from the map up that way. You can see some building traffic here across 270 and I-76. So very typical stuff for us here this morning, but no worries. If you hear about Broadway being closed, it's not. It's open both directions over there, so no need to use Washington Street. The rest of the drive looks just great, whether it's down here on C-470 Santa Fe or up here across that drive to or from Boulder.
Thank you, Jason. Well, this morning, the man Denver police say flashed a gun at them, prompting a shooting that hurt bystanders, will be in court. That shooting was met with public outcry, especially once police revealed that Jordan Waddy here did not fire a shot. 6 bystanders were either shot by police or injured by shrapnel. Waddy, meanwhile, is facing charges of assault and having a weapon by a previous offender. He was on parole at the time of the shooting. He will be in court at 9:30 today, and Denver 7 will be there.
Denver's district attorney, meanwhile, is also in the process of investigating the officers who fired at Waddy and injured those bystanders. I sat down with District Attorney Beth McCann. She told me she cannot talk about a pending officer-involved shooting, but I wanted to know how she investigates these incidents and how she decides if an officer is justified pulling the trigger. She said these usually start with her going to the scene. She or an assistant DA will look at the lighting at the time of the shooting, where officers and suspects and any victims were standing, and all the physical evidence they have. She can also suggest questions for investigators to ask the officers. I also asked her about the importance of police body camera video because it's so much more common to see it nowadays. The public thinks they know it all now and everything that's happened. How much comes down to that body camera video?
The body camera is typically very, very helpful. Sometimes not at all because they wear it on their chest, and if they have their guns out, sometimes you can't see anything. You can hear, but in some cases, the body camera is very, very helpful because you can see lots of things. Often, though, it's dark, it's jumbled, there's a lot going on, and it depends, again, on the individual case. If you get a good you know, I mean, we've had them where you can literally see the gun coming out and the police can slow down, you know, they can slow the frames down so you can get a much clearer sense of what the officer was seeing.
Now, she did tell me we should expect it to take a while for her to investigate the Lodo shooting. Since she has been the DA 5.5 years now, McCann has not charged any officer in a shooting. She told me, though, she has charged officers with assault and other nonviolent crimes. In the case of officer-involved shootings, when the investigation finishes, McCann always holds a public meeting to explain why she is not charging the officers. And one of those is happening tonight, actually, at 5 p.m. She'll be talking about the investigation into the shooting death of Colton Wagner last summer. Police say he turned a gun on officers at a park and they fired at him, killing him. McCann said the officers followed their training and stopped a bad situation from becoming worse. You can learn more about that specific case and get the link to tonight's meeting on the Denver DA's website. Just click on News on the homepage.
Meanwhile, community members protesting the Lodo police shooting say they want a civilian police accountability council. Well, Denver already has one. It's called the Citizen Oversight Board.
An oversight and consultative group for the city's Office of the Independent Monitor, whose job it is to evaluate the effectiveness and oversee the public safety departments, particularly where it comes to officer-involved shootings, disciplinary matters, and other matters of public concern.
So the board's chair was expecting to get a first briefing on the Lodo shooting yesterday, more than a week now after the incident. The board has virtual public meetings on the first and third Friday of each month, so their next meeting is August 5th. Meanwhile, we are pushing for more answers into the deadly police shooting in Englewood that was breaking yesterday morning. Officers said they shot and killed a man who shot at them first, and then hours later announced the arrest of another man. Denver 7's Christian Lopez joins us live with a look at what we know and what we don't know about this incident.
We've asked police several questions to clarify exactly what happened, but they still have not given us an answer. We know that they were responding to a disturbance among family members. This was at a home on West Bellevue and South Grove Streets. Police say when they got there, someone started shooting at them, and that is when police shot and killed the 22-year-old. No officers were injured. Police announced that they arrested 29-year-old Philip Blankenship for his role in shooting at police officers. He is being charged with criminal attempt first-degree murder. We've been pushing for answers to see if the 22-year-old who was killed actually shot at officers, or if it was the 29-year-old who was arrested, or if it was both, but police would not give us any additional information because the investigation is still ongoing. Live this morning, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thank you. Some gun laws in Superior can't take effect for at least 2 more weeks. A judge temporarily blocked a ban that the city just passed on assault weapons and large capacity magazines, as well as the possession of illegal weapons. That decision comes after the Rocky Mountain Gun Owners Group sued the town of Superior over those ordinances. The group says this is just the beginning.
We're actually really confident. We're looking at other cities that have implemented this as well to put that same order on them until we can get a decision.
The next hearing on the lawsuit is August 4th. It's important to note the judge did not grant a restraining order to the Superior ordinance that bans open carry.
Break out your orange and blue. Tomorrow you have your first chance to see this new Broncos team in action. New head coach, new quarterback. And Lisa and I are going to be out at Dove Valley for the start of training camp.
Yeah, gates open at 9 a.m., but you should get out there early if you want to find a good spot. And yeah, you'll be able to see it all. The players taking the field. Outside linebacker Bradley Chubb told us he looks forward to the hype he gets from the crowd during these long, hot practices.
You know, practice could get tiring, and on day 10, you might not want to be out there, but to see the fans screaming and cheering like it's day one, it makes you want to go even harder and give them something, you know what I'm saying, to look forward to when the season comes. So it's definitely a jolt of energy, and I'm excited to have them out there and be able to interact with them again.
And there will be 14 practices free and open to the public. pretty much every day except Sunday for the next couple of weeks. So you can see the full schedule right now on thedenverchannel.com.
Yeah, exciting times. Well, before Russell Wilson heads back to work, he and his wife Ciara are giving back to Colorado.
Yeah, their Why Not You Foundation is partnering with Centura Health. It'll contribute $500,000 per year to local and regional nonprofits. Groups receiving funding will focus on health equity, education, food security, social justice, and support for kids. And they are not just philanthropists, they are also both fashionistas. We are learning
right.
Russell knows his fashion. Yes, they're Denver's unofficial first couple made an appearance at Park Meadows Mall last night.
Yeah, they do a little bit of everything, and they were having some fun. This was the grand opening of their new clothing store called the House of LR&C, which stands for Love, Respect, and Care. It is the 4th location for the couple's retail venture, and Ciara says her husband is very involved in the process.
And Russ, he kind of downplays his input, but he has incredible vision. He's very particular about the detail for men and how the shoes, down to how the shoes fit, the details of the button placement, the details of how a jacket fits around the waist. All those things matter to us.
I wonder if that's how he is putting on the helmet and shoulder pads too. Like everything in the right
Detailed,
place.
yes.
Yeah, they're like always ready for the red carpet. This was a party inside their store with music and dancing and of course clothing for men, women, and children.
I just feel like I can't pull off, like I don't think you can pull off that
Thank you.
floral
Yeah.
shirt.
No, I don't think
and
I could
can't
either.
pull off
No.
anything Ciara wears. So
Lisa, don't lie. I know you've been on their website looking
Lisa
around.
can,
You've been
yes.
shopping there.
No, I can't squeeze into anything Ciara wears. No, you're right. Some cool stuff though on the site. Take a look at your forecast for tomorrow. Your Broncos training camp forecast. There when gates open at 9 o'clock at Dove Valley. We're going to see sunny skies, mid-70s this afternoon or tomorrow afternoon. Right around noon as things get wrapped up there, we'll be at about 87 degrees under a mostly sunny sky. I do need to get a new training camp graphic though. I think we've got some old players back there.
Yeah, that is very old. No, we need updates right now. If you're going to be driving on Arapahoe Road down that way, to this week we'll have updates on that for you, as well as on Peoria and Potomac down that way. This is the westbound side of I-76. See a gorgeous sunrise for us right now. Seeing that increase of traffic coming out of Brighton. So a very typical start here to the morning commute. Those commute times for you coming up in just a minute.
Well, another bombshell witness in the Capitol riots, the top official for Vice President Mike Pence agreeing to testify. And make Instagram again. The rallying cry from some celebrities who are upset about how the platform has been changing.
Also, parents with older kids, just a heads up, it is no longer the norm to move out when you grow up. The generation sticking to their hometowns.